Did you hear about this? Noah Lyles, widely considered the world's fastest man, faced off against one of the biggest streamers on the internet. The real shocker? A YouTuber nearly chased him down, claiming he barely lost. And the track and field community was left unimpressed by Lyles' performance. What is going on? What does this mean for Lyles' standing in the sport? Is he truly at the top? Or is there something bigger lurking behind the scenes? Stay tuned. IShowSpeed, the YouTube phenomenon known for his high-energy streams and wild antics, recently faced off with one of the fastest men in the world, Olympic gold medalist Noah Lyles. The twist? Speed had only a few hours' notice and no training. Mr. Beast, the YouTube philanthropist, set it all up, and Speed, despite being in Miami and the race in Orlando, agreed to the challenge after some playful taunts. He even streamed the entire journey, entertaining his millions of fans with jokes about how losing would force him to change his name to IShowSlow. The race turned out to be more exciting than anyone expected. Speed, though not a trained athlete, surprised everyone by keeping up with Lyles at the start, showing off impressive speed. Lyles, known for his finishing strength, eventually won, but the race was much closer than anticipated. Fans were left stunned, with many now questioning just how fast Speed really is. What was supposed to be a fun, light-hearted race sparked a heated debate that's still being talked about. Most people thought Lyles would win easily. After all, he's a world-class sprinter with an Olympic gold medal to his name. But when the race started, something unexpected happened. Speed's quick reaction and impressive pace made it clear that he wasn't just another YouTuber with a wild streak. He was fast, maybe even faster than some thought. And even though Lyles eventually won, the race was closer than anyone imagined. From the moment the race began, Speed took everyone by surprise. His reaction time was lightning fast, and for the first few meters, he held his own against Lyles. This wasn't the cannon fodder that many expected. Lyles, showing why he's one of the fastest men on the planet, quickly found his rhythm and took the lead. But even as Lyles pulled ahead, Speed didn't back down. His intensity and raw speed kept him in the game, and for a brief moment, it seemed like he might actually have a shot. Lyles, on the other hand, didn't seem to take the race too seriously at first. He appeared relaxed, even showboating a bit as he crossed the finish line. Speed, though, wasn't playing around. He immediately argued that the race was a tie. When the video was reviewed, Speed boldly claimed, "If it were 40 meters, I would have won." Lyles disagreed, but he had to admit that Speed's performance was far better than he expected. When you break down the race footage, it's clear why Speed was able to keep it so close. His start was amazing. A strong start is crucial in any sprint, and Speed's reaction time was on point. However, once Lyles hit his stride, the gap between the two started to grow. Lyles hit top speed, pulling ahead like an Olympic champion. What's interesting here is that Lyles wasn't even pushing himself to the max. He seemed to coast for a bit, doing some flashy, almost playful moves for the camera. If Lyles had been fully focused and giving 100% effort, he could have likely blown Speed away by a bigger margin. But what's impressive is that Speed kept it close. Lyles won, but it wasn't as easy as he expected, and that's a clear indication of just how fast Speed is, even without formal training. Speed himself acknowledged how close the race was in the end, but it's important to remember that the race was only 50 meters, far from Lyles' specialty. In fact, even at the Paris Olympics, Lyles was a bit slower in the early stages, but finished strong to secure his victory. Unfortunately for Speed, almost wasn't enough. The win, along with the $100,000 bet, went to Lyles. As a final jab, Lyles made Speed agree to change his name to IShowSlow on one of his social media accounts, an entertaining reminder of just how narrowly he came to pulling off the upset. Lyles, ever the professional, pointed out that there was video footage showing he had won, but Speed wasn't ready to back down. In classic IShowSpeed fashion, he doubled down, insisting, "Raw speed, I'm faster, bro." And while most people probably wouldn't argue with an Olympic champion about race results, Speed's fans ate it up. They loved his audacity. Speed's confidence made the race even more fun, and although he didn't win, his refusal to admit defeat made him the talk of the internet. After the race, Lyles made a joke. He told Speed, "You should practice with me for a week. You'll be faster and we can race again for real." Lyles suggested that with some training, Speed could actually get faster and close the gap. And while it seemed like a friendly challenge at first, Speed took it seriously. He agreed, saying he'd train for an entire year and race again in 2025. Could Speed actually challenge Lyles after a year of training? Could he close the gap between them? Fans are excited about the possibility of a rematch and wonder if Speed could become a serious contender in a race like that. The idea of Speed going from a YouTuber to someone who could challenge an Olympic champion is crazy, but it's something that's now on the table. Fans are eagerly waiting to see what happens. As if the race wasn't entertaining enough, NFL star Tyreek Hill jumped into the conversation. Known as one of the fastest players in the league, Hill took to Twitter to mock the race and claimed that if he raced Lyles, he would win easily. Now we all know Tyreek loves to stir the pot and get attention, and this was no different. He's always trolling people for views, and this time, he wasn't holding back. But what's interesting is that Hill hasn't actually raced Speed yet. He can talk all he wants about how fast he is, but until he faces off with Speed, his words are just talk. There's even been talk about a potential race between Hill and Lyles in 2025. This could make for some seriously entertaining TV, and fans are hoping it will happen. For now though, Speed's race with Lyles is the one that everyone's talking about. After the race, fans couldn't believe how well Speed did. Many expected Lyles to breeze through the race, but Speed's effort shocked them all. One fan tweeted, "Speed not getting smoked is actually impressive." Another pointed out how wild it was that Speed had just driven for 3 hours before the race and still managed to keep up with an Olympic champion. Speed barely lost against the Olympic champion straight after a 3-hour drive. That's impressive, they said. Fans were impressed by Speed's performance, especially considering that he doesn't train professionally. It was a great reminder of how powerful confidence and belief in yourself can be, even against a world-class sprinter like Noah Lyles. In the end, IShowSpeed's race against Noah Lyles was more than just a race. It was a moment that captured the internet's attention. Even though Speed didn't win, his performance showed that raw talent, confidence, and determination can go a long way. Going up against one of the world's fastest men with little preparation and no formal training, Speed still managed to keep it surprisingly close. Fans were left buzzing, with many praising his effort and audacity to challenge an Olympic gold medalist. But what really made this race memorable wasn't just the competition, it was the energy and excitement Speed brought to the table. His playful attitude, bold claims, and refusal to back down made the race feel less like a contest and more like an entertaining showdown that fans could talk about for days. Now, with talk of a possible rematch in 2025, the excitement is only growing. Could Speed really close the gap with a year of training? Will he take on Lyles again, or even go up against NFL star Tyreek Hill? Whatever happens next, it's clear that IShowSpeed has made a name for himself, and the world is eagerly waiting to see what he does next.